What's up everybody, my name's RKingKeeplet and today I'm doing a brand new type of video where I talk about my top 10 favorite animes. I've never done anything with really animes on this channel, but I'm trying to spread my channel out to do different things. But today I want to talk about out of all the animes that I've watched, which I know there's a lot I haven't watched. Overall I've only watched maybe 40 to 50 animes, but today I want to talk about my top 10 out of all of them. And yes, my opinion is not going to be the same as yours, but so put yours down in the comments and I would really actually like to see what they are. But yeah, I think that's enough talking, and let's get into this list. And yes, at number 10 I have Fairy Tail. Please don't click on the video. I know a lot of people don't like these longer ass animes, and Fairy Tail, Bleach, and such as those. A lot of people don't like them, but Fairy Tail, there's just something about it that really gets to me. I really like it, even though a lot of it is generic and stuff like that, it is very... I don't know, it's just something about it that I'm really liking. I like watching the action scenes, and it's heartfelt at times, and it's funny at times. But Fairy Tail is pretty much about an entire guild of wizards that come together, and they go out and pretty much do different types of jobs in order to get money. And along the way, they come along different arcs for different characters and different things that happen to kind of go along. Some people try to take over Fairy Tail, they fight them back, and they win, hoorah. Stuff like that happens a lot, and there's a lot of mystery. There are plot twists, and honestly, I do find the arcs very interesting, even though a lot of times you can kind of guess what's going to happen in the end. But it's still, nonetheless, I think, very entertaining to watch. Animation quality is subpar. But the music is beautiful. I love especially the main theme. That is one of my favorite themes of any anime out there. It is a beautiful theme, and it gets me hyped up every time I hear it. But yeah, that's pretty much why Fairy Tail is number 10 on my list. At number 9, we have The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. And this is a strange anime. I don't really know how, or what to really say about it, honestly. It's just really entertaining. The whole point of the anime is pretty much, it follows Kion, a boy who pretty much just kind of doesn't care a whole lot about anything. He's just kind of there. Reminds me of Clannad in some ways. He just kind of goes to school and does his own thing. But then he meets up with this girl named Haruhi, where it seems like a whole lot of really strange things are happening with him, or with her, and then they form some kind of group. And then they just kind of do a bunch of random things over the course of 2 seasons. And, yes, there is a point in Season 2 that one of the most annoying things in any anime that could ever happen happens. And it's not good. That's the only part that I really don't like about this anime. It's funny, it's got drama, it's entertaining as hell, but if it were not for this movie that they added on to the end of it, this probably wouldn't be on the list. This movie is probably one of my favorite anime movies and just movies of all time. I love this movie. It is amazingly well written, paced, animation, everything is just great in it. And very emotional, and it even leaves open for another season for the series, which I hope they do. And that's why it's number 9 on my list. At number 8, we have an anime called Ohana, a very emotional anime, pretty much about a group of friends that split up a long time ago when they were children over the death of one of their friends. And this pretty much follows Jinta, who has that friend follow him around as a ghost. And it follows them going through their daily lives, and then over time, then interacting with the friends that broke up. And it's just a beautiful anime that you just have to watch to really enjoy, and just a friendship aspect of it, to see how sad it is that they would break up over something like this. But to see how the characters develop throughout the show, I think it's the most, I guess, rewarding thing is about the show. It's just great to see how they develop and interact with each other after these events happen. And the progression of the main character, I guess you'd say, as he pretty much starts out as a character who pretty much just sits around his house all day, doesn't go to school, and just plays video games. And to see his progression it hurts to watch, but it's kind of enlightening in a way. It makes you question some things in life that we might take for granted at times. And it's just a beautiful anime, and I say you should go watch it. It's just a great overall, and that's why it's number 8 on my list. At number 7, we have an anime that I have actually just recently finished called FateZero. And the whole anime is pretty much about something called a Holy Grail world, where these people called Magi, who can use magic, pretty much summon 7 heroic spirits to fight for the Holy Grail, which can pretty much grant a miracle to the host. And this anime is apparently the prequel to Fate Stay Night. But overall, this is an amazing anime. At first, when I started watching it, I was like, they actually filled out a portion of it with just explaining everything about the Holy Grail War, which I'm not going to do. Maybe if I do a review, I might talk about it more. But pretty much the first 2 episodes are really slow. The first episode is actually an hour long, which animes never do that. And it just pretty much explains everything about the entire war. So it's kind of slow at the start. And also then it gets into a little fighting, and they have some statements that make me think, okay, this sounds very generic in terms of just fighting and stuff. Oh, he's going to use his ultimate power. But then it gets really into it. It makes this emotional attachments between their masters and the heroic spirits are amazing. They mesh it very well. I love the characters in the anime. Even the asshole characters are interesting. Everybody has their own reason for going after this Holy Grail, and the main character, I guess you'd say, that's not a heroic spirit. He's not the main character you would kind of expect, and I love characters like that aren't your stereotypical Goku or something. The animation in this anime is amazing. It's one of the best animations I've ever seen. And this anime also contains my favorite opening now. It is a great opening, and I get hyped up every time I hear it. But yeah, that's why it's pretty much number 7 on my list. At number 6, we have everything about time travel with SteinsGate, an anime solely based around time travel pretty much, even though it takes a few episodes to get into the actual time travel part, because at the very start of the anime, we start out pretty much explaining everything about what time travel is and how it works in this universe. But hey, we get green bananas, what else do you want? But other than the bananas, where the show really shines is pretty much, I guess you say, somewhere at halfway point to the end. Because from that point on, everything is paced amazingly. Like I said, it kind of starts slow. I enjoyed the opening part, a lot of people don't know, but it is amazingly paced after that. And in a way, you can kind of tell it was a virtual novel for certain parts, but you'll just find yourself engrossed in this anime and everything that's happening from one point on. And it also has one of my favorite romances, I guess you'd say, OTP, baby, woo, of any anime. It's like it melded so well that I didn't even notice it was happening at first, I guess. But in the end, amazing chemistry between these 2 characters, and also the main girl in the entire anime is also, I guess you'd say main girl, is also my favorite female character in any anime out there. She's my waifu, if you know what I mean, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's why I think SteinsGate's amazing. Coming in at number 5, we have Cowboy Bebop, which is probably one of the biggest classics, and I think an anime that every single anime lover should watch, or even, hell, even people that don't like anime, I think should watch this show. It doesn't matter, this is just a classic of a show everywhere. It's very Western style of art, is beautiful, animation beautiful, one of the best dubs has ever been created, and overall the story is pretty much based around a man named Spike and Jet, who are space bounty hunters. They pretty much just go around looking for bounties and getting money. There isn't a whole technical arc for a while. There is an arc, but it kind of built over multiple episodes. There's a lot of filler in it, but I don't say that because all these technical fillers are amazing. They're some of the best fillers you'll ever see, in my opinion. But the overall story at the very end, and that's kind of builds up, is amazing. It is very emotional, and it's just heart-wrenching for the main character. And that is a large reason why I love this show. It's got a lot of action, emotion, drama, it is very intriguing, too. And it also has a great opening song, and the music and the style of the entire anime is great. And that's pretty much overall why it's number 5 on this list. I think it should be seen by everybody. It's just a classic of a show and an anime, too. And at number 4, we have Gurren Lagann, which is an anime that just goes all out with everything. Sometimes you just have to turn your brain off to it. It does have an amazing story, but there's really nothing for the story I can kind of say for plot-wise, because anything I really say is kind of spoilery, I guess. But what I can say, it pretty much starts out with a man named Kamina and Simone who live underground in a village, but then one day something from the heavens above break down and opens up the earth above, or skies above. Sumo then finds a machine that can help them get out of this hole, and their goal is to get out of the hole and to live above ground. That's all I can really say. It's just an amazing anime. Overall, this pacing at times in this show can be a little slow at the very beginning of each season. There are 2 seasons, and yeah, the very beginning is very slow, but there are points in the show that I'm like, holy shit. And one point, I know a lot of people said, holy shit, did that just happen? And overall, it's just a out-of-this-world anime that gets just hyped up on the juices of steroids and goes all out with these mechs. The animation, except for in one episode that I think a lot of y'all know if y'all seen it before, is it has its own unique style that looks really nice. But yeah, this is just a very crazy anime, and I love it. And the story overall, even for being that crazy, is very interesting. And just turn your brain off when you're watching sometimes, when there's fighting and stuff. Just don't question things, just accept it. But yeah, that's why it's number 4 on this list. And at number 3, we have Clannad and Clannad Astral Story. I'm putting them both together because it's kind of like the melancholy of Haruhi and the movie. I put them together too. I see them as a whole and not separate. But this is one anime I hold dear to my heart. This is a very, very, very heart-wrenching anime. It has amazing characters. The characters are the biggest thing in this entire anime that hold it together. Sure, okay, Clannad might not be anywhere near the level of Clannad After Story, but I still do love the characters. The story of the anime is pretty much just follows a boy named Tomoyo who just kind of goes through his daily lives and meets these new girls and meets this girl named Nagisa, and they ultimately just go through their lives. And After Story is where everything picks up, and it's become probably known as one of the saddest animes out there. But it's beautifully written, beautifully well done. Some people complain about the ending. I find the ending fine. I find that they could have done it better, but I'm good with it. I'm great with it. Because I just love it so much. It's just a beautiful anime, and it's one that I will hold dear to my heart till I die, because it will teach you some lessons about life. But if you're not into slower animes, then this might not be yours. There's not any fighting or anything. It's just about human interaction in life overall. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Coming in at number 2, we have Code Geass. This is pretty much a story about a teenage boy named Lelouch who gains an ability from a secretive, sexy woman, and this ability allows him to tell anybody to do what he wants. And at the time, Japan is overrun and ruled by another empire called Britannia, and this is where Lelouch is living right now, in Japan, or also known as Area 11. And Lelouch also then tries to form a rebellion against Britannia. And that's the base of the show. It's a largely mecha show, but it's a lot more than that. There is so much drama. There's 3 single episodes almost ends with I wouldn't say plot twist, it ends with a cliffhanger, which, if you're just watching it live, as in like right when it came out on TV and stuff, that'd be annoying as hell. But when you're watching it just as binge watching or something, it's freaking intense. And I love it so much. It's one of the most entertaining animes I've ever watched. The problem with it, I would say, is probably in the 2nd season, is pacing got a little too extreme. It got really fast, but I don't even care, man. It was so freaking entertaining that you just kind of I forget about that pacing at times. I don't even care. And also, there's a few plot points in there that are kind of messy, little messy. But the first season, Code Geass R1 is amazing. A lot of people don't like the ending of it. But the ending of R2 is honestly my favorite anime ending of all time. The characters are very well-rounded. It has my favorite character of any anime, Lelouch. Freaking badass. And also, I did watch the dub for it, and his voice was done by Johnny Young Bosch, which is also my favorite voice actor. So that just melded together to make one of my favorite animes of all time. That's why it's pretty much at number 2. Great characters, great story, entertaining as hell, and I don't even know what else to say. It's just a freaking full-on amazing anime and show. And coming in at number 1 for my favorite anime of all time, is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I think the anime community as partly a whole can say that this is one of the best animes that has ever been created. I've not heard anybody say that they don't like either Full Metal Alchemist, the first one, or Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. If you didn't know, Brotherhood is a adaptation of Full Metal Alchemist that is more closely related to the manga, which the first one was kind of diverged at one point. Only two problems I can say that kind of minuscule for this anime is that, yeah, the first season was kind of sped up and the pacing was very quick, but that was because they kind of wanted to get all the stuff from the old anime kind of done and out of the way, because they just pretty much rehashed a lot of the stuff that the first anime said. And then when it diverged, it became its own thing. And one other smaller thing is sometimes the comedy got in the way a little bit. Not too much, but there were times it felt like it didn't need to be there. But those are very, very small things. Other than that, the story is incredible. The pacing's incredible. The characters are incredible. If you didn't know what the story is about, it's about two boys that have lost their bodies when they're trying to use alchemy to save or bring their mother back to life after she died. And in doing so, Edward lost his arm and his leg, and then Alphonse lost his whole body. And if I say any more, I'll just give away the plot, but believe me, it's a very intense story. Incredible plot. I love it. Almost everybody has depth to their character. The first series had pretty much Edward and Alphonse a lot more focus on them. Almost everything about that. You think it's still like that for the most part in this one, but there's a lot more depth of the characters, and even new characters than the old version, which are very, very interesting. And the plot never gets muddy. Everywhere you go, every character you follow, it pretty much jumps from different groups of characters. They're all interesting. I cared for every single one of the plots or arcs that went on with these characters. And the end is also probably, like I said a minute ago, Kogias was my favorite. This is probably my second favorite ending of any anime. And the music to go along with it is gorgeous. Every single opening I love, or at least like. The second opening is the only opening that I was kind of about. It's still a good song, it just doesn't match, I feel, the anime. Other than that, every opening, every ending was amazing. The music to go along with it was amazing. The art, the animation is just beautiful. It's just, I think, the closest that anybody's ever gotten to a perfect anime out there, in my opinion. But yeah, that is why Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite anime of all time. And that is the end of my list for my favorite animes of all time. Tell me yours down in the comments, and I will take a look at all of them. I know my list isn't going to be like everybody else's. I've seen a few people that are very similar to mine, but there are a whole lot of other animes out there that I haven't seen. Most likely I'll watch a lot more of them, and maybe a year or two from now I'll make another list that's more updated. But for right now, this is my list, and yeah, hope y'all enjoyed. My name's Arcane Keyblade, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.